Welcome to another episode of the You Speak English podcast. Thank you for hitting that play button and subscribing to our podcast channel. I'm Katza, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about World Entrepreneurs Day. But first, let me say hello to George and Javier as usual. Thank you guys for joining us this week.
Hello, Katza. Hello, Javier, and hello, everyone. And I am happy to be here with you again.
Hello, guys. Once again, the three friendly amigos.
Yes, we're like the three musketeers.
There you go. Do you guys remember the three amigos back in the 80s?
Sorry.
No. Oh my God. Never mind. Forget that intro.
Okay. So World Entrepreneurs Day. This day is celebrated on April 16th. And the purpose of this day is basically to raise awareness for entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership throughout the world. For its initials in English, WED, W-E-D, is the perfect day to celebrate the people who start a business. And because you guys are business starters, and we all admire you for that, we're going to talk about entrepreneurship with you. But first, I would like to do a small dynamic. And can you name three mobile apps that help you stay organized and on top of your game as, business runners?
That's something I learned on the way. But now that you mention it, the one that I've constantly used to, stay on top of the game, basically on my appointments and classes, is Google Calendar, believe it or not. And I set the reminder. Also, Alexa. I ask Alexa to remind me about any appointment or any other thing I have to do. And it constantly reminds me, sometimes when I don't even want it to remind me. For organization, for communication, we use WhatsApp. I know there are others, but that's the one that I find easier to use. And if I can think of another one, we are starting, and this is something that we're starting to do. We're using something very similar to Monday. There's an app out there for organization for Monday.com or Trello. Something, but it's similar to that. It's something that our own engineer is designing. But those are the ones that we use the most. I use the most.
I have to agree with George. I just don't like the fact that I'm tied down to WhatsApp. There's no actual competition for WhatsApp. You might have Telegram, but not a lot of people are logged into it. Most companies will use a WhatsApp, and we use WhatsApp groups for that. Just like George, but I don't have an Alexa. I do set myself timed reminders with a beep. That means I got to do this. I have 15 minutes before my next class. That means I should be having my stuff set up already by then. Pull up whatever I have to pull up for that particular class. But I am a little bit old school, believe it or not, and I do have an old style notebook, and I just write things I got to look at.
This is my app.
There you go. That's another app. Just a notebook,
Notebook and a pen.
And a pen, and write it down. And if I keep it next to my computer, I can look at it, and I can just I do enjoy the fact that I can cross out things. This is done.
Oh yes, to-do list, but how
kind of like
the satisfaction.
I'll say, kind of like I wrote this down, like get in touch with so and so, and then I'll just I'll put a start next to it so I can highlight it. And I'll cross it out. Okay, I did that. I sent that email, or I sent that report, or so. It's very satisfying. There's a lot of apps out there, but sometimes old school just works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
So I have a question here, guys, because for those who don't know about our school yet, and this is perhaps your first time listening to this podcast. You Speak English is an English school based on in Guadalajara, right? And obviously, you guys came up with the idea to set it up together and be partners and everything related to that. But when exactly did you know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I've always wanted, I've always been a teacher, but I always dreamt of having a school, running a school. It was a dream because when I started doing it, it turned not really into a dream.
More like a
It
nightmare.
is, it's no better roses. I can guarantee that. Okay, it's no better roses, but
Don't
there's a
do
lot
it.
of satisfaction. Okay, doing it, but years. It's been many, many years. I had already started my own school many years ago. Not as it's set up right now. There was an economical crisis in Mexico, and I had to shut it down. But then and ever since, I always said, I got to do it again. I need to have my own place. And then I met Javier. We were running. I was running a program with another dear friend of mine, Ricardo Phillips. He was running a very interesting program here in Guadalajara, a program specifically for nurses. And it came to a point where that program stopped, and there was an opportunity, just to start with a school, but to general public, not just to nurses, because that program was just for nurses. And that's when we started this path, with Uspk English. We do have two brands. Let me tell you, it's Professional English, GDL, and also that's how we started, and we still have that name, and we own it. And this one, Uspk English, right? And Javier started with me ever since we started, with Professional English. So it's been an interesting path. It's been, quite a ride. We've had ups and downs, but it's been great. It's been good.
This is actually the third time I've been asked to start a school, but the first time I'm actually a partner, and I didn't consider myself a businessman. I think I'm quite an adequate teacher, but the business aspect is something that it was unbeknown to me, and I had never considered myself a good salesman. And if you're gonna start your own business, you gotta be a good salesman. You gotta. But then again, I started thinking to myself that we all sell. You sell ideas, you sell yourself, and that's probably been the hardest thing about in this journey with George. This is probably the easiest and hardest time to start a school. Let me explain that. Because there's so many options out there that you can do online. You have platforms, you have so many things, but at the same time, there's like so much competition, and there's like bad competition. You know what I mean? People that promise you to learn English in a month, and people that have one of our most common clientele are people that they have been to school A, B, and C, and they're still not where they want to be. So it's the fighting. It's kind of like swimming upstream in that aspect.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to really teach people, trying to give them realistic goals, and helping them meet their goals, and not just take their money, which is, I think, it's sad. It's pretty sad.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
I agree with you, Javier, and adding to what Javier mentioned, it's not easy. Basically, it's not just a one person or two person, company. In this case, our school. It's a whole team. It's a whole team. Probably listen to us in the podcast. Katz obviously is an essential part of this team. Javier, obviously, but there's a whole team behind us. Something that it wasn't easy to form, and for people who are out there listening who have their own businesses, I'm sure they can identify themselves with what I'm going to say right now. You want the people in your team that have the same vision, and they're in the same boat. But to find those kind of people, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's I think it's one of the most difficult things to find people who are have the same ideas, have the same vision, and share your dreams. And I think we've come to that point right now after 6 long years, almost 7. It's been a long journey. It's been a long journey where we're still we have found the right people for what we're doing right now. People who are passionate about what they're doing, professional about how they do their things. They're teaching, they're marketing. We have a marketing team. We have a sales team. We have a coordinators team, teachers, administration. So it's all team. It's not just a one person. I think what I do believe is there has to be good leadership, because if you don't inspire your dreams, or you don't contage the people in your team with the dreams or passion and they don't know what we're going, I think it's going to be very hard to convince anybody in your team. Rather than telling them what to do is showing them the passion that you yourself have. I think it's easier to follow somebody who even if it's a crazy idea. Oh well, this guy's convinced it's going to work, or it's I don't know why, but he's crazy. But at least I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and try it myself, and not just say no, it's not going to work. So if you have those kind of people in your team, I'm pretty sure it will work. As I said when I started talking, it's no bed of roses. Every cloud has its silver lining. Okay, so
but this one's just a thunderstorm. No, I mean I can easily give you a really quick example. At the beginning, part of our vision was to have like the best teachers ever. And George is highly acclaimed in the teaching community. He's got more context than I do in that aspect. He knows people that have PhDs and master's degree, which he invited over to the project. That was a kind of a fiasco, in the sense that people that are already set in their ways are not necessarily going to follow what your vision is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I remember an acquaintance that we have that was actually mocking us, calling us, "Hey, let's go talk to the CEOs." And that person started his own gig, and that person, I think his gig is gone now.
It crashed and burned.
Oh yeah, it crashed and burned. It requires not only like I think it was Einstein that said it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. You gotta work at it, and you gotta do the time.
Yeah.
You gotta put the hours in. I'm sorry, this is a long haul, but if it's something that you love and you enjoy, and believe me, it's hard. It's hard. We're here all day, but we have fun. George and I, we joke, we talk. You're a great alliance, Katza. Probably one of the biggest assets that we have, joining our dream in that aspect. This podcast was kind of something you've been pushing a lot.
Yeah, this is Katz's baby.
Credit. I'm sorry, guys. Credit where credit is due. This is Katz's baby.
To anybody listening out there, you wouldn't be listening to this if it hadn't been for Katz.
Exactly. I'm not even a podcast guy.
Thank you, guys.
A round of applause, really, because I'm not even a podcast guy. I'm like, podcast?
What is that?
What is that? And I'm kind of old school in many ways. Believe me, I'm very open-minded, but in other ways, I'm very much set in my ways. George is another person that has pushed me in that aspect, to put in technology into what we want to do.
Innovation,
Innovation, and the fact that we were ready before pandemic hit us, let us stay alive. George could tell you a lot about a lot of people that he's acquainted with, friends of his that had to close their schools because they were just not ready for the next wave.
It's a pretty hard hit even for ones that were prepared, and it's something that I hope that they all are back on their feet.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's a huge challenge to come out what COVID left behind, and we're still struggling at some point, to adjust and lots of people who didn't really want to learn online, they had to adapt, and because we have to take care of each other and we have to avoid big crowds and stuff.
And that's a very interesting point, Katza, because going back to being a salesman, we had people that tell us, online, 2-hour class. I don't know if I could sit that long,
Yes.
I've been sitting all day and I really don't want to sit in front of the computer again. But then we get students that are, join our class and they realize that it's not boring at all. We do a lot of multimedia. The classes are fun. We do pretty much everything you would in a regular classroom. Pretty much everything you can, and we will do it, giving even better feedback, and with the extra added plus that they can do it from home at any time, and we can do so many other things. So that's part of the vision of the future in that aspect. You hear a lot of people that they're great entrepreneurs because they had this certain vision of where the world would be in 10 years. And I had to thank George in that aspect. He saw it that the online thing would be the future, and COVID, the lockdown confirmed it.
Just brought it up.
Yeah, I think it's here to stay, despite the fact that even if COVID one day is no more. I think it online is here to stay, and even more. I think that was one of our first podcasts when we mentioned the metaverse and other platforms. I think it's here to stay, and having any kind of business, especially in this field, education and language teaching, Jesus, it's got lots of moving parts. It's not easy. But sometimes we learn on the way, on the path, and we try to see how things pan out, and then we measure. It's there's no perfect. I don't think anybody. I know there are business plans and strategic plans. Whoever's listening to me, but there's a way of carrying out a business and doing this and this. I don't think anybody was ready for this kind of a challenge that we just went through. I think it's a little a mix of everything of being strong, being strong, being able to wing it, being able
adapt,
not to
overcome.
stress and learn. Hey, well, it's something I love, and it's if it happens, it happens. Sometimes, I'm sure, I've heard Elon Musk, and I was surprised in one of his interviews. They asked him, "So, were you planning to succeed?" He said, "No, I thought I was going to fail, honestly." And everybody's surprised.
Yeah,
because when they interview other people, no, I had this dream, and we're going to grow. We're going to expand over the world, and okay, well, he saw it coming. And I was surprised when I heard this guy. No, honestly, I thought it was going to fail. I was surprised that it actually worked.
Now you mentioned Elon Musk. In an interview that I saw him in, he mentioned that every major car manufacturer in the US has filed for Chapter 11. That means bankruptcy, you guys, again, because you didn't know. They filed for bankruptcy, and Tesla has filed for bankruptcy. It's been close to dying in Tesla, his company. But now, just last week, for some reason, he's now the world's richest man. What happened there? He's been working at it. He works and works and works, and he believes in himself, and he won't let it go, until it officially dies, and it hasn't died yet. And I'm sorry, you guys, this is my advice to everyone, whoever wants to start a business. If you're not willing to put the time in and go the long haul, don't do it. Live your life.
Absolutely.
Sorry, live your dream, but dreams don't come easy. Sorry.
They don't.
Nobody said it was easy.
I don't know. How about it with this podcast turns out as popular as Joe Rogan's podcast?
I would totally love it. Yeah.
Yes, let's put it out there. Yeah.
This is
Joe Rogan.
This
Watch
is
out.
actually the
Watch
part.
out.
Get you.
This is actually exactly what I mean, guys. We have a rundown. We know what we're going to talk about, but as you can see, everyone can hear. We have fun with this. We share our knowledge, we share our experiences, and in the end, it's actually, we don't make any money off of this, but we have fun. This is actually my fun part of the week.
We do. We don't make any money out of this just yet.
Yeah.
Just yet.
When we hit the 1 million listeners, followers, probably, right, Katsu?
I don't know. Look, I
most
heard
likely.
somewhere
So
that
please follow and share.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I heard somewhere that we are actually the only school that's doing a podcast. School.
Really?
Okay, if
Wow.
anybody could tell me otherwise, please let me know, because I mean, individual people, freelancers, yes, everybody's doing a podcast, but as a school, we are the only school that's actually doing this podcast. So
Wow.
if anybody
Yay.
knows of other one, let me know. I would love to hear
Yes,
them.
please share and manifest on our social
Manifest.
media.
Let us know,
Wow.
please.
We really want to know what do you guys would like us to talk
Yeah.
about for
Yeah.
sure.
The thing about it, we don't have a parameter because nobody else is doing it. We're just doing what feels good, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey,
We're
listen
doing
to
what
me,
feels good.
buddy. We will set the standard. All right.
Uh, all right. And my final question to you guys before we go and wrap it up.
Right.
What's your most satisfying entrepreneur moment so far?
Oh wow,
There,
George,
there,
you want to
there are
go?
many. There are many. It depends. So if you're talking about entrepreneurship, money wise, commercial wise, or personal satisfaction of seeing a student achieve his or her dreams because he or she and I was able, or our school was able to help them. There are several. There are not several. There are many. One of our, and I hope she's listening to this. What really, really, brought me a lot of joy is one of our former students, Andy Salinas, Andres Salinas. Hello out there, if you're listening to us.
Oh
Andy,
yeah, Andy. She lives in
Uh,
Canada,
she's
right?
in
Yeah,
Canada
she's
now.
now in Canada. She was so grateful to because we helped her learn English. That learning it, by her learning English, she was able to make her dream come true. One of her dreams, the biggest one, was moving to Canada and starting a life there. What she's doing right now. She even made a video for us, saying this, and it moved me. It really moved me, and I felt, hey, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to start this school. Yes, obviously it's a business too, but that was a really high moment for me. Another one, well, we've had important contracts with companies that were very strict in selecting an English school because if they had problems with previous providers or schools, and then they were very strict with us in picking us. And yes, we were able to meet all the requirements, and fortunately, we're still with most of them.
Most of them, yes.
And that has to say a lot because their track record for some schools here, they don't last longer than 6 months in any other company. And for us, for some companies, it's been years that we've had a commercial relationship. So I think we're doing something right. Are we doing it completely right? Never. I'll never be satisfied because I think there's always room for improvement. But yeah.
I don't think anybody has like the magic stick, the magic wand that will say, okay, this is the perfect program, for everyone and anyone. But like you said, George, it's the fact that we have students, we've helped them achieve the goals. Now that you were speaking about Andy who moved to the United States, I just had a couple of days ago a person called us back, and he lives in the States now. He got a better job, and he wants to improve his English now a lot better. Why would he call us? Because he had us before. I just love it when that happens. I just love it. Maybe when they were there in companies, they didn't tell you how much they appreciated you, but they moved somewhere else and they'll call you, hey Javier, hey George, hey, I moved over here. Were you guys still teaching? Yeah, of course. The reference factor for me is like the best pat in the back I could get.
Right. Yes.
And it's that aspect, like George said, if you're gonna do it for the money, don't do it. Just do something else. Do something else that sells, like sell tacos, tamales. You can sell tamales all day and make good money.
Tacos.
Really, I see that lady where I buy my tamales. She drives a Ford Lobo. Okay, she drives
Elotes en vaso.
I know she drives a truck. Yeah, but do it because you love it, and then the money will come on its own.
Also, don't try to do everything yourself. You have to have people who are experts in their field. We are teachers, we are academics, and we have hopes of being salespeople or marketing experts, but we're not. So that's a tip. Anybody out there listening? You have to have.
I know people that are like completely opposite.
Have a passion.
Yeah.
passion for what you're doing, and then that they know what they're doing, or if they don't know, they have the attitude to learn to make it happen. Katza is a great example. She does lots of things. Katza, let's talk a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Great teacher, coordinator, great ideas, innovation.
Psychologist.
I mean, yeah, a psychologist. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Really?
Javier's a great coordinator.
What are you doing here with us?
Yeah, Katza,
I'm being
what's up?
happy. I'm being happy. That's
There
why
you
I'm
go.
here with
You
you
see what I
guys.
mean?
That's,
That's why you're here on board with us.
Exactly,
You're happy.
because I'm
That's
happy
what we
with the
want.
job.
We want people
Yeah.
that are happy. doing what
Nobody's
they
yelling
do.
at us, right?
Exactly. Nobody's yelling at us. Nobody's putting us down.
Exactly.
We're always
Nobody's pushing
concentrating.
us.
We concentrate in solutions, not in problems.
Thank you.
I think this
or
is
culprits.
our motto. Yes, or culprits are like, you didn't do it.
It was your
No,
fault.
it's like it was your fault, and you didn't do as much as I asked you to.
Yeah.
No,
And that's why they
no,
fail.
I'm being happy.
that's-
To sum it up, yes.
So that's why they fail. Believe me, I have the person with his school, and that person is a great salesman. He's a terrible teacher. He's still online on there because he's a great salesman. But that person just, he lies to people. You got to be careful with that. If you're doing it just to get your
Oh, I know who
school
you're
across-
talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know who.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I stopped working with that person, because it just does not follow your philosophy. You just can't live with that person.
Exactly.
Can't work with that person. Yeah. The good thing about George and I is that we're going the same path, and that's where it all ends. The fact that we know what we want to do, we know where we want to be in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and we know that what we're going to get out of it.
You know,
Right.
I don't. Please tell me. Share.
Oh my God, guys,
Oh.
this was so much fun. I'm sorry, but we have to finish today's podcast.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure we
okay.
can pick it up somewhere sometime
That's
and
true,
really
yeah.
talk about it. Maybe
anybody
next year.
If you like this podcast, share it, and we'll talk more about this particular topic.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, any last words, guys?
Well, until then, if you're for anybody out there who will start a project, well, I mean, what else can happen but fail? And if it fails, just get up and start all over again.
Yeah.
If you don't start something, when will you ever know if it was going to work or not? Just go for it. Take a dive.
Take a
Take
dive.
a dive. What else can happen? All right. So you're not going to die. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It is going to.
It's going to hurt a lot, but get up, dust it off, and try
And
again.
move.
Try again.
Yeah. move
And
on.
until then, well, I'll see you guys here next week.
All right, Javier.
Well, same thing like George said. Get started, get moving. If you're gonna wait until you actually have the stuff to start your project, no, you got to start off with one client, with two clients. And start moving forward. And then if you're good at what you do, then people will start talking about you. If you're not good at what you do, then you start making yourself better. So get some training, get some knowledge, listen to a lot of advice. Don't take everything as criticism. Sometimes it's just people are blunt when they tell you stuff like that,
Yeah.
But follow your heart. Whether you do or you don't, it's going to be your decision. If you start a project and it fails, so what? You start again, because that's what you wanted to do anyway.
Exactly.
In the end,
Exactly.
it's all about you.
Yes.
Okie doke.
Okay, this is it for today. Thank you to all of our audience out there. Remember to subscribe to our channel. And if you like this podcast, please share it with all your friends and contacts. And you can also visit our website, where you will find articles related to English practice and learning, and most of the topics that we have been addressing on this very beautiful podcast. All right, until next time, guys. Thank you again.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
See you next
Bye-bye.
time.
Take care.